everybody. Happy Monday, or if you're in Australia, happy Tuesday. I did send out the PDFs. Sandy, did you get them? I guess no one else requested them. Okay. It's a simple lesson today. It's not going to be very long, and it's very basic. And I had a lot of requests to give you my approach on learning the 5-stroke roll, the 6-stroke roll, the 5-stroke rough, the 7-stroke roll, and the 7-stroke rough. So that's what our lesson is going to accomplish today. So let's start with the 5-stroke roll. If you look at the sheet, it says 5-stroke roll on the top. Let me put my glasses on, I can't see. No problem. Pure waterization. That's a cool name. What is your first name there, Mr. Pure Water? And Sandy, I know yours. And okay, anyway. When I first learned the 5-stroke roll, I didn't have any books. I learned it from the drum corps. And they said it was 5 strokes. 2 doubles with the right, 2 doubles with the left, and a single. Now, what comes into view here is my saying, or not my saying, but the 2 schools of drumming. The rudimental school and the non-rudimental school. The non-rudimental school, there's 3, I guess you could say rudiments: singles, doubles, and flams. Okay? Now, like I said, when I first learned the 5-stroke roll, it was even hard for me to do 2 rights and 2 lefts. So I learned it, and I would go on my practice piano, which was on the angle, and go right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, over and over again, 7 million times. And then even when I went to school, on the desk, I would use my hands and go right, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, and make a lot of mistakes until I really put it into my head. Now, when I started to work from the Buddy Rich book, the first teacher I had showed me the Adler system with the 5-stroke roll, and it didn't make any sense. Well, at then it did. It made a tremendous amount of sense. Yes, I'm getting a professional instructor to teach me how to do a 5-stroke roll. So, for those who are not familiar with the Adler system, it's a seesaw method, like so. Very rigid, very tense. So he would show me to start like this, and as I bring my right hand down, my left hand would come up, and my right hand would come up to make the 2nd stroke, and the same process with the left side. I'd come up like this, and then come down real tight to hit the accent, which is totally absurd. Not until I understood the level system did I understand how to develop a clean sounding 5-stroke roll. Now the 5-stroke roll consists of 2 doubles and a single. 2 doubles with the right, 2 doubles with the left, and a single. And I put myself in position to make those 2 different sounds, a non-accent and an accent. And I put it in a formation. The first formation that you have, Sandy, is in 6/8. And I got this from the Buddy Rich book, but I implemented what occurs with the levels when you should learn this. My starting position for the 5-stroke roll, first off, is in 6/8. We counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm starting on this position here, in this position. My first stroke is going to be a tap, and up, a tap, tap, and down. So my starting position in reality is my ending position. I'll play it in tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that's down to ground zero, because when you're playing a 5-stroke roll up tempo a little bit like this, this is what's occurring. Notice that there's the two sounds there. There's the non-accent and the accent. But I'm always putting myself in position to attack. And that eventually will develop speed. It's very exaggerated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that takes care of 6, 8. And I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll use a metronome. I'll take it up a little bit. Let's put it at 180. Make each tick a count. 1, 2. That's too fast, maybe. Let's go down a little bit to 150. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very basic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Tap up, tap, tap, down. Tap up, tap, tap, down. Notice how I put my hand in position to attack the accent. Now that's the very basic down to ground zero kind of explanation. And it's in 6/8. Now you could take it to another time and in a different feel. The next one would be 3/4. I would count 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. The same sticking is going to apply the same motion. The tap up, tap, tap down is going to apply, but the feel's a little different. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Just another way to count. 1 and 2 and 3. Now, you just hang out with it, and go over and over and over it. The next one, I present it in 4/4, 4/16 in the quarter. 1 E and 2 E and so on and so forth. Okay, then the actual notation that you're going to see if you have a rudimental book like Charlie Wilcoxon or the Nard or any rudimental piece that you open, you'll see 30-second notes tied over to an eighth note or whatever it might be that you see. You won't see what I just demonstrated the first 3 lines. You'll see the 30-second notes, which I did write in longhand, which was 1 E and 2 E and. You won't see that written like that. I just broke it down. I wrote it longhand. The last line, I write shorthand. You have 30-second notes tied over to the end. 1 E and 2 E and. So eventually it becomes 2, 3, and 4 and. Yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and. Do we have any questions on the 5? Pure waterization. Can you tell me your first name, please? Any questions on this so far? What I just do is over and over again. The next guy we're going to go to is a 6-stroke roll. Or rather, I'm sorry, the 5-stroke roll. Max. It's a very easy basic rudiment. Now, I call this the 5-stroke rough. That's how I learned it. But for some reason or other, the name has changed today. Not this day, but in a couple of years ago or whatever, it's referred to as the single 5. Why? I don't know. I learned it as a 5-stroke rough. So the way to tell the difference between the rough and the roll, or the single five, or whatever you want to call it. The roll is double strokes, the rough is single strokes. So, what you learn with the 5-stroke roll, you're going to just apply it to single strokes. The 5-stroke roll, for example, remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, now we're just going to use alternate strokes. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So now, that's the first line of page 2, the single 5 or the 5-stroke rough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when I practice this, I mean, I don't really I barely go to that. I just play the 5 on the drum set, or open up the Charlie Wilcoxon book, or the Rudimental Solos, or the Nard book, or whatever I'm reading rudimentally, and just play the 5. Okay, and I have a choice whether I want to use a 5-stroke roll or a 5-stroke rough. Okay, so now we've taken the 5-stroke rough to 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to take it to another formation. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now you see the levels are following you all over the place, only because it's a very natural way to play. It's natural to play one volume and get one note accented. You have to come up and come down. That's 5-stroke rough. Okay, so that's the 2 lines. And again, we go to 16ths and a quarter. The levels stay the same, but the feel or the counting system is different. 3E and the 4, 1E and the 2, 3E and the 4, 1E and the 2, 3E and the 4. Okay, next one is long hand with 30 seconds to the 8th. Well, the notation, it depends on, see, I'm breaking the rudiment itself down, the 5-stroke roll and the 5-stroke roll, just to demonstrate. Do you have any rudimental books, Sandy, that you work from? Like the Nard book or the Charlie Wilcoxon book, or you have any of those books? The notation will change. You have the option to do a roll or a rough. Okay? It normally would say 5-stroke. That would mean, in rudimental language or field drumming language, it's a 5-stroke roll. Okay, so it'll always say 5-stroke roll, but if you want to really, be different and get a different sound, you want to do single strokes, 5-stroke rough, as opposed to a 5-stroke roll. It's up to you. It depends on the sound, what kind of chops you have. It's easier to do this than that. Okay, and you'll see it says 5-stroke roll. It won't never say 5-stroke rough. So, yeah, when the 5 is written over it, it's telling you 5-stroke rough. Roll rather. But you have the option. You want to put a 5-stroke rough there? Fine. It's a bit of a different sound. Roll, rough. Roll, rough. Or single, whatever you want to call it. Now, that's what you usually see. And you're correct, Sandy. Now, like I said, it takes the same kind of, all I did was, on the rough or the single 5, it's demonstrated the way I did the roll, but instead of using doubles, I use singles. And there again, the rudiments, singles, doubles, and flaps. And the levels. You should absolutely understand the levels. Cindy, were you here when I gave the lesson on accents with the levels, or demonstrated the level system? And how about you, Max? And whoever. Okay, that takes care of the 7, the 5. Let's go to the 6. Now, I get a lot of feedback on this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not playing the 6-stroke roll correct. Bininga-banga. Okay. Whatever they want to say, they can say. It don't matter. 6-stroke rolls, 6 strokes. Now, there's inversions, which we're going to talk about. There's not just one way to. There is the rudiment itself contains 2 singles, a right and a left, and double, 2 rights and 2 lefts. And it's the placement of this. The way I demonstrated here, at first, on the first, that's sheet number 3, the 6-stroke roll. What I'm doing there is doing a quarter note and 8th note combination. And the levels, the rules of the levels never change. You're always putting yourself in position to nail the accent. So, I'm going to start here. Now, when I play a 6-stroke roll, I don't go into the drum set and look like a robot. I'm demonstrating for instructional purposes. Okay? So, I'm going to count 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, well, email me, Max. I'll send you some PDFs. And you can come visit me tonight on my other site. Or no, rather, we're going to be on YouTube tonight as well. And when we're on YouTube, I'm going to be doing a drum set application of what I'm teaching today as opposed to one surface. Show you some of the ways I use a 5-stroke roll and a 5-stroke rough, or 6, or 7, or whatever, inside of a pattern that I'm playing. So you have my email. Let me give it to you. Okay, just email me and I'll send you some PDFs, okay? Now, what's the streaming? What's going on here? All right. Okay, so now let's get to the 6-stroke roll. Now I'm counting in 8th notes and I'm doing it very, very slow. There's 6 strokes here and they're spaced a little bit different than the 5. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is where I'm taking that from. I'm starting here. I have 1 and 2. Now watch this. And 3 and 4 and. I'm back to the starting position. So my starting position and my ending position are the same. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now, there's 6 strokes there, but rhythmically it's in that 8th note formation. Now, this is actually considered, the next line is actually, what I did is a 6-stroke roll, but in a different formation. On line 2, this is what everyone considers a 6-stroke roll, but like I said, there's a lot of variations. Line 2 is 1, E, and, the, 2, E, and, the, 3, E, and, the, 4, E, and, the. So it falls on the offbeat as opposed to the downbeat. One, and the 2, and 3, and the 4, and 1. Simple pattern. Okay? Now, here's an inversion. I'm putting the 2 accents first. Now, I get a lot of arguments. That's not a 6-stroke roll. We'll count them. It's 6 strokes. This is a 6-stroke roll. That's the feeling you get. If I go like 2 8th notes in the 16th, that's a 6-stroke roll as well. And then we have the other variations. We have a 16th and 32nd notes. 1, E and a. 2, E and a. And the abbreviated way of writing. I'm going to send you, Max, I'm going to send you the sheets. Okay, not now. Email me first so I have your email on file. And if you're going to frequent this platform, I will send you the PDFs prior to the lesson for that day. I normally have them, and today I have them. Sometimes, occasionally, I don't have time to write them, but I will. So that takes care of the 5-stroke roll, the single 5, or the 5-stroke rough, and now the 6-stroke roll. There's no, I don't believe, 6-stroke rough. So, see, I don't play rudimental, I just play naturally. Singles, doubles, and flams. And whatever that supposedly labels, it does. You know, it's the rudiments are labeled for a reason. You know, you have 7, 8 drummers in a drum line. You don't tell them to play 2 rights, 2 lefts, and a right, and then alternate it. You just tell them to play 5-stroke rolls, alternating. So they learn as this is a 5-stroke roll, and they'll play that. It's the same thing. If you look like you did, Sandy, on a sheet, it'll tell you 5-stroke roll. Now, if you look at that on a concert basis, or someone writing sheet music, you won't see that. You'll just see, say, 30 seconds tied over to the 8th. Now, you could do it that way, or you could extend it and make it a 7, or you could do a triplet feel. We're not going to do that today. But, you know, there's not just one way. You know, like the 6-stroke roll. Well, I just demonstrated like so. But it's also 2 accents into 30 seconds. That's an inversion, is what that is. Okay? Now, we're going to go to the 7-stroke roll. This has some funny things with it as well. Okay? And I can play it in triplet formation. You know, I'm not going to play any kind of triplet formation. I'm just going to do a very basic introduction or presentation on the 5-stroke rough single 5, 6-stroke roll, now the 7-stroke roll. And normally the 7-stroke roll is only to one hand. I like to alternate it, but it's taught with one hand, leading with the right hand, for example, or leading with the left hand. But I'm going to do this with just the right. It's 7 strokes. I'm putting it into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm playing up to 4. I'm not playing the and of 4. I'm just counting. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let me slow it down. Now there's a level in there. You have to take the and of 2 as an upstroke. Then you have to maintain the 2 sounds, a constant sound. So I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm exaggerating it because I'm demonstrating it as an instruction, not a performance. If I was playing 7s, that's not teaching. You know, I get comments on the videos. Yeah, well, I could play that at 500 beats per minute. Well, you know what I say to that? God bless you. That's not what this is about. This is about explaining how to develop a 7-stroke roll. Now I'm doing it right now with a right hand lead. And the level, the upstroke needs to be on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, that's leading with the right hand. then I'll lead with the left hand. It just reverses itself. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and simple. What did you lose? Who's that, Mark? What did you lose, Mark? You lost the cable, the internet, or you lost what I was saying? I'm not certain what you mean. And Mark, I think this is your first time here. Well, the molar, all right, the question is, because I'm going to repeat your question because of the fact that this is, I'm doing a live broadcast, and people who are going to view this are not going to see the question in the chat here. You're asking me, I'm using a Molar Technique. This is not Molar. This is not Stone. This is not Adler. This is the laws of physics. Whatever you want to label it as or call it, if you understand it, that works. Now, I don't practice both ways. I practice one way. That's the natural way. If I'm playing here, so you don't understand the level systems there, Mr. Max. If I'm playing here, I'm obtaining one sound. So this is the lesson I did a couple weeks back. If I want to accent every other stroke, well, something has to occur with my hand. I'm not going to be able to make the accent here. I have to come up and then down. That's not molar. I don't know what molar is. They can call it whatever you want. Everybody refers to this as a whip is molar. Well, if that's what molar is, I never studied that. I just naturally understand the laws of physics. I come up and come down. I maintain one sound here, and I position my stick in a different place to obtain the accent. Up, down. Example, if I was playing just straight eighth notes, and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I want to accent 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what does occur. It's a downstroke and an upstroke. Downstroke and an upstroke. There's no free stroke here. I have two different positions that I'm attacking my drum from. One is a high position, which I'm going to obtain an accent. Now, I'm stroking from this position, but after I make the stroke, I'm going to the position to hit the accent. Up. Two sounds, an accent and a non-accent. There is no other way. I'm not shallow, and I always look for other ways to do it. You can call this molar, you can call it stone, or whatever you want. This is the laws of physics. I'm hitting from this point, the distance is greater. I'm going to get a louder sound. If I hit here, it's a lighter sound. So I have one and, one, a, 1 and 2 and. Do you understand that, Max? You understand what I'm throwing out here? Where did the other gentleman go? What's his name? He left, I think. Mark, are you there? Well, see, it creates a lot of problems. Not for me, but the language of drumming. It's simple. They make a big issue out of it, coming over like this. I learned, for example, my left hand. I'm playing one sound. Yes, if I want to get an accent, I have to come up and down. If I want to up the speed, I have to make a different movement here. And that would be, they refer to it as a whip. I don't refer to it as a whip. I refer to it as a pump. Look at my elbow. My elbow comes in just before the accent. I'm pumping it. So I mean, I'm not putting any kind of method down. I mean, people refer to that as molar. I don't know what molar is. I was never taught molar. This works for me. That's not a whip. There's velocity there and speed. If you want to be scientific about it, up faster, you see the elbows coming in and out. That's giving me my momentum. Do we understand that? Okay, we did the 7, right? Or no? I'm confused again. Anyway, okay. Tonight I will be back at 8:30, and I will be doing a drum set application of these few different rolls that I've talked about. And we'll talk about some more Molar and some more Stone and some more Adler. And the laws of physics. Too bad, what's his name? I forgot his name. The laws of physics, gravity. What was his name? I forgot. Okay. Everybody has it. Now, Max, email me. Where did he go? He left. I think. Hey, Mark, email me and I will send you the PDFs for today. You too, Max. I know that Sandy has them, and I'll give you the schedule. Yeah, it was a bad cold. It was cold here. Okay, so with that being said, gentlemen, I'm going to stop the lesson at the time because that's all I have for today, unless there's questions. Any questions, we'll deal with it, okay? Now, please email me. I'll give you all the information you need. You have a cold too, all right. Well, chicken soup in bed. No alcohol. Okay, gentlemen, any questions?